Welcome back to the Adaptive Athlete Podcast, the place for stories of adaptive athletes in the CrossFit space and beyond. I'm your host, Matt Hotho. On today's episode, I'm talking with Amy Johnson. Amy is an adaptive CrossFit athlete and an occupational therapist. She was born with a brachial plexus injury, which led to partial paralysis in her right arm and affects her ability to this day to use her right arm. But that hasn't stopped her from doing daily tasks, becoming an occupational therapist, and competing at the CrossFit Games. Our conversation touches on her journey, what led her into occupational therapy, what led her into CrossFit, and ultimately what her mindset is for this year. Check it out. Welcome back to another episode of the Adaptive Athlete Podcast. I'm here with Amy Johnson. Amy, how are you doing today?
I am doing all right. How are you?
All right. I'm doing okay. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. My kids went back to school today. We're here in Florida. I hear that your kids up north get to party a little bit longer.
Yeah, we've got a few more weeks of summer vacation, and they don't go back until after Labor Day. Although they're already missing school.
Really?
I am not looking forward to going back to work.
And what do you do for work?
I am a school-based occupational therapist.
What ages do you work with?
That's a great question. All of them, 0 to 22 currently. But during the school year, it will probably switch back to 3 to 22-year-olds.
Okay. So you kind of work across the gamut of age ranges when it comes to youth and young adults.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that something you've always wanted to do, be an occupational therapist?
I wanted to become an occupational therapist when I was 17 and a half, and I did my hair for the first time because an occupational therapist that I met by accident had enough faith and belief that she could help my hand function better, that I was able to do my hair as a teenager. So that was my moment of, I got to help other kids do what they think isn't possible.
And when you say do your hair, you mean like, put it up in a ponytail or something like that? Or do you mean more involved?
Yeah, no, put it in any kind of ponytail because I love my hair long. I absolutely hate it in my face. So putting my hair in a ponytail was super important to me. But also my sister had seriously clammy hands, and having her do my hair was not fun.
Okay.
So bad.
So I can imagine. So why did you need help doing your hair? What's your injury? What makes you an adaptive athlete then that would have you in the position where you need help doing your hair?
Great question. So I was injured while being born. So I have a brachial plexus injury from birth that partially paralyzed my right arm. I have a little bit of movement and use of it, but not a lot of feeling, so it makes it hard to use it. Up until I was 17 and a half, I had little to no use of my hand. It was mostly just a paperweight.
And as you were so you were born, the injury happened when you were born. Did the doctors know when you were born, like, not to be crass, but like, oops, like this happened? Or
they had to have. They actually broke my left humerus trying to break the collarbone to make more room because I was stuck in the birth canal.
Okay.
They did not get the collarbone, so they broke the humerus, and so then it was just pulled down to unstuck my right shoulder, and they tore all the nerves in the process.
They pulled too hard.
Yeah. So the right arm was pinned to my chest, and my left one was casted, and
wow.
I had no use of either arm as an early infant.
Wow. So then growing up, your left arm clearly became your dominant arm, but your right arm did it continue just atrophying because you weren't using it, or did you just not know how to control that hand?
It got pretty little because you have to weight bear to gain length and muscle mass, and I just didn't. It was not capable of weight bearing because my hand was always in a fist. But I used it. I was actually just looking at pictures this weekend. I used it pretty functionally because I still have some bicep function in my arm. So you can see there's pictures of me hauling around our cats and various little dolls and tubs and things like that with my sister. And but it's about 3.5 inches shorter than my left arm, and it's quite small.
Yeah. So then you went through middle school, high school with this with the inability to do your hair. I keep focusing on the hair thing because I think it's so fascinating that, for many adaptive athletes, we're quick to talk about, now I can do jumping pull-ups or now I can do a clean, or that kind of thing. But really, like, it's pretty cool to be able to do your own hair, right?
Do my hair, button my pants, tie my shoes. I remember all of those milestones.
And all because someone kind of leaned in and took the time to work with you.
Yeah, it was huge. So I'm doing my hair was at 17 and a half. I'd gone in for back pain. My PT couldn't focus on my hand couldn't focus on my back, saw my hand, was absolutely convinced I had to meet her OT friend because my hand must be painful. And it's like, it doesn't hurt. I can't feel it. Can you focus on my back? That hurts. The OT came in and she just had all the crazy ideas. I ended up with a splint on my right hand that was made out of thermoplastic, fishing wire, and paper clips and rubber bands. It was huge and obnoxious. And like, I actually almost melted it the day I got it because I was too embarrassed to wear it into the store after my appointment, left it in the car, and it nearly melted. It was really close. It took her like 3 hours to make it. And so to go back the next time, like, we need to fix this part.
Oops.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But that brace and then a lot of E-stim exercises gave me functional use of my hand where I could actually open it and close it.
Now, when you say E-stim, you mean like electrodes, right? That would be placed
like
on your
shocks.
wrist or...
Yep, they were all on the back of my forearm. And I'd turn it on, it would shock the muscles into working, and then I would try and hold it. And
so you would build the muscles while they were tensed.
Yep. So it would come on and hold for like 10 seconds or something. And then my job was to see if I could hold the position it put them in for another 2 or 3 seconds after it shut off.
So I had one of those as a kid, and I assume it looked like a little like Game Boy, right? Like a little like cartridge. And then you had these like sticky pads that you had to like stick onto yourself. Yeah. I had to put them on my calves, and I never would quite place them in the right spot, or they would like shock me too hard. Like, I think it might be that my brother would like turn it up on me when I wasn't looking or something.
That's probably truly like highly likely.
Yeah. But I was like, they have to have gotten the technology better nowadays.
There's still the same type of electrodes because I can use those as a treatment modality I don't use it in the school, but if I worked outpatient, I can use those, and they're all the same.
Okay.
It's mostly a guess and check.
Did I hit the right muscle? Like, let's see what happens.
And actually, when I was using the E-stim, because my muscles were so small in my forearm, we had to trim down all of the electrodes. So then it was take a permanent marker and mark the outline so I could get them back in the same spot.
I wish we would have thought to do that. Because like the times I hit the wrong spot on my calf, it was painful. Oh, man. Like, I have vivid memories of sitting in the top bunk of our bunk bed trying to do it and like, oh, that's not it. That's not it.
Ow.
Ow, that hurts so bad. Okay, so speaking of your back pain, I mean, that had to have been related to the brachial plexus injury, right? And like overuse of your left side, just pulling your spine or kind of making your back just feel out of whack?
So a lot of my back pain was actually on my right side, so my injured side, because my scapula was winging so bad. And winging, it means it pulls away from your back, so it's not sitting flat like it's supposed to. I had developed like a bursitis underneath my scapula, so it always felt like my thought process would be comparable to laying on hot coals.
Okay, wow.
It was just burning and painful all the time. But then I had another patch that was tingly, but like your foot fell asleep and it's waking up. That was always present, but it was really the burning pain that was the worst. It got so distracting that it really couldn't function. No meds touched it. I was taking 12 ibuprofen at a time and it did nothing.
And you're 17 at this point, and you're thinking, is this just my future?
Yeah. we had done a lot of different therapies for my back from 17 on because, good old insurance fun stuff when we were younger. They had pre-existing condition on everything and would touch nothing. So they slapped pre-existing condition on my right arm and would touch nothing related to that until we got different insurance when I was 17.
Yeah.
So I really hadn't had a ton of therapy outside of Shriners until I was older. Forgot where I was going with that, but the back pain, it was extreme. I made it through high school on a lot of ibuprofen and lots of laying down and resting while my friends are going out and having fun.
Yeah. Yeah. But that didn't stop you from doing some sports in high school, but it wasn't exactly what you wanted. Tell me about your experience doing sports in high school.
Yeah. So sports started pretty early for me. My parents tried to let me play thinking I would quit when I was in third grade because softball was always a top priority for me. I wanted to play. When I got signed up, my dad gave me his glove because he's a left-handed individual. And so the glove goes on the right hand and it's huge and so heavy. I was like, well, that's cute, but can I have a glove I can actually use, like one for my left hand?
Yeah.
So the first practice was very poor because I had no functional equipment. But after that, we got a glove for my left hand. I played for years from third grade through my senior year of high school, but didn't have great coaching that was super open to disabilities and performing differently. So I had a brief hiatus in high school where I actually let my coach know that he was discriminating against me by benching me every game that got close in score or he thought we might have a chance of losing. He wouldn't let me play.
Yeah.
So I handed in my uniform with a letter as to why I was giving him my uniform back, and took him 3 days to apologize. And then I played the games that I had deserved to play after that. But
well, good for you for standing up for yourself. And while it shouldn't have happened in the first place, was it good? Was it good in your mind? Was it good on the coach to get your letter and then put you back in games? How'd that feel?
It felt empowering to me at the time until I realized he then just picked another girl to discriminate against for a different reason. That one appeared to be more skin tone related, which was not okay. So then I felt bad because, I got what I was hoping for as a resolution, but then he just picked on somebody else.
Right. Like that sort of awkward feeling where it's like, I got one rung up on the ladder. And then it's like, oh, wait a second. But now there's someone on that rung below me still.
Right. Yeah. And that just didn't feel right. Like,
again, in the eyes of this coach that sees the world as a ladder rung. That's what
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm sorry you experienced that because I think there's a lot of people listening to this who can probably relate to experiences they've had where they've wanted to try athletics and been told, hey, you're not going to make the team, or, you're not the kind of look we're going for on this team, that kind of thing. So especially with injuries that are more visible, like yours.
Well, I'm actually really fortunate and unfortunate in that mine isn't super obvious. So you really kind of have to know what you're looking for to recognize my injury. Because I compensate too well.
Okay.
So after high school, I played a year. I played 3 or 4 years of slow pitch. And one season I was catcher. It took the umpire the entire season. We were literally playing the last game of the season to realize that I was catching and throwing with the same hand. And he's like, dude, did you forget your glove today? Do you want to borrow mine? I have one in the truck. I'm like, no, I do this all day, every day.
This is how I do it.
This is how I do it.
Yeah.
So I compensate too well.
Okay.
And that most people just don't notice.
Well, and do you think that some of that comes from your training as an OT?
No, because I did that in elementary and high school too. Is that I knew I needed to prove myself to get a spot on the team. I already started behind. So I had to work harder, put in more hours of practice to show them that I am every bit as good as the other girls. Yeah. And and I wasn't treated differently by my siblings or my mom. So it was, you're going to figure this out or you're going to be left in the tree. My sister was so nice to help me climb a tree, and then she left me there. So
And you had to figure it out.
Figure out how to get down or you're going to spend the night there.
Oh man. What'd you do?
So I cried, like any good kid would. Cried
That's
for
a good starting point.
So I figured out, you know what, you really are more capable than you think you are. You can get down.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure it involves some scrapes or something at that point, but remember a whole lot of that. I just
That really uncomfortable climbing down a tree where you're basically hugging the tree the whole way down and you don't care how much you scrape your legs. You're just like, right? I'm not letting go of this tree.
Right.
Yeah. Been there.
I'm pretty sure that's probably what it looked like.
Yeah. Yeah. I was always jealous of those kids who could climb straight up a tree and straight down, because then I would try going up and then I would get up, and up worked, but it was the down, having the control to guide yourself down, that was the worst.
I don't even know how she got me up in that tree. There was not a ton of branches. I have no idea how she got me up in there, because I really had no ability to reach up with my right arm.
Yeah.
I can get my hand to maybe my eyes, and that's about it.
Mm.
So I have no idea how she dragged me up in that tree. She did great. We were way up there.
Well, this is going to be an awkward transition, but speaking of climbing, let's talk about climbing the leaderboard, and let's talk about your experiences with CrossFit and with adaptive CrossFit.
Yeah. So discovered CrossFit 7 years ago. Well, probably 8 years ago. And I watched a friend, Jeremy Ogle, use CrossFit as a form of pain management. It allowed him to essentially get his life back. He got off of all of the medications he was on that were trying to manage his pain poorly. He was able to be a great dad and do life. And so I was like, if Jeremy can do CrossFit with one arm, maybe it'll give me a chance to get my life back, because I was looking at filing for disability, or something's got to give. So my pain was insane, out of control. I found there was a CrossFit gym in my town, messaged the owner for probably 3 weeks back and forth. Like, are you sure you have a coach that can handle this? The first day, August 1st, I pull into the parking lot. I sat there for an hour and then I went home. I never actually made it in the building.
August 1st, 7 years ago? Like, we're coming up on your 7-year anniversary? Okay, that's awesome.
Yep. Message the coach again, like, here are all the things wrong with me. Are you absolutely sure you have a coach? Which class should I come to? He's like, well, try this class with Eric Russell. And
what were you afraid of sitting in that parking lot, if I can ask?
I think part of it was other people seeing and judging, but also, could I do it? Because at that point I'd already given up. I had a modified work schedule because the pain was so bad. I'd given up all of my fun activities. I wasn't going out tubing with the kids anymore. I wasn't playing softball anymore. I couldn't garden. Even doing the dishes and vacuuming and cooking, cleaning things. Like, I couldn't do those tasks anymore. I was needing help for all of it. And I'm really just afraid that I wouldn't be able to do the 1 hour class.
Yeah.
But also not really well in shape at any point. I was very overweight and unhealthy. I had no aerobic capacity, no stamina. Like, I don't think I'm fit enough to be one of those people.
Yeah. One of those people that you see on YouTube or on TV or anything like that.
Or just the ones running out the gym door. Like, they're running half mile down the road. Oh,
because you're sitting in the parking lot watching them leave the building going, shit.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, my coach in high school with softball was not a great experience. He was the one that you run until somebody vomits. I'm like, well, it's usually me. I'm the one that's passing out when we run. That's great because I can't breathe. So yeah, like I said, I sat there for an hour and home, never made it in the building.
Yeah.
Back to messaging the owner. She's like, try this class. So I showed up the next day and Eric was so welcoming. He's like, no worries. Just, I need to know a little bit more information. What are we working with? And it's all trial and error. So if you trust me, I'll trust you and we'll work together. So 7 years later, he's still my primary coach. He believes in me when I don't always believe in myself. We've done all the adaptations. it's all just a game of trial and error and take data.
Yeah. So what was that first year like with the trial, error, and like data collection, right? I assume, what did you start on dumbbells, or did you start with one arm barbell stuff? How did you kind of
He
find
wouldn't
your
even
way
let
into
me
it?
touch a dumbbell. I got PVC for like 6 months.
Oh my
Wouldn't let me
gosh.
touch
Okay.
any
Yeah.
of that.
Okay.
Like, I didn't have a jump rope that I could use at the time. Didn't know the mono rope existed. Didn't have enough right hand use to make a regular jump rope functional. Actually didn't jump with a regular rope until COVID, when I was like, well, I can't take one of the jump ropes from the gym because I can't use it. And one of my buddies is like, well, have you tried lately? No, good point. So I give it a try and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can use the drag rope. So I took that home over COVID and practiced jumping rope like forever. And then I saw they have the mono rope, like encouraged my parents to get me that for Christmas because, broke
nice.
kid with new career and spending every last penny on my CrossFit habit. And because it was cheaper than therapy, like a lot cheaper than therapy.
Yeah.
My first, I think it was about 6 weeks into CrossFit, and my chiropractor is like, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it because I don't have to adjust you today.
Okay.
Which he'd been adjusting my SI joints 3 times a week for years because they just wouldn't stay.
Yeah. So you start trial and error with Eric. How long did it take for him to like find your limits and start pushing at them?
Definitely more than that first week. The first week I was doing wall balls and passed out.
Okay.
Because we pushed that limit a little hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it took him that first 6 months to really trust himself in being a good coach for me, and then trust me enough that I would tell him when we went too far. But after that point, so after that 6-month mark, he would start letting me use the dumbbell and then the trainer barbell and then gradually move up as I was able. But he also didn't give me the option to say no to that first open. So I started in August and I did the open in February.
Oh, wow. That would have been 2018.
And that was before adaptive. So I did the regular open just like everybody else. So it wasn't very much fun at that point. But you know how CrossFit is. We come back and do it again anyway.
No, I remember that 2019 open, or whichever one it was, where it was like almost back to back. They did it at a weird time of year. And I was like, I'll do it. I'll do the RX version. Why not? And I'm like, I have no business using 50-pound dumbbells for things. Right. And it, like, I PR'd my clean and jerk at the time because it was 135, like, thank God for adaptive fitness right now.
Oh my gosh, it's insane. I'm so thankful that we have a place to compete and then a sounding board, right? So that we can say, hey, I'm struggling with this movement, and 15 other people will say, hey, have you tried this?
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that.
That
I
piece
saw
is huge.
Some encouragement coming at you for something you posted on Instagram. It was just cool to see the community come around you and be like, wow, you're doing it. Like, your dubs, I think someone was so excited for you on.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Dubs have been my nemesis for freaking ever. Yeah. We have worked on these dang things since I learned how to jump rope. And just last week or the week before, I actually strung 2 together. Like it's been single double for 3 years now. Yeah. But I have to remember that I have only been jumping rope for 5-6 years. Like not long. Well, COVID was 5 years ago. So I've only jumped rope for 5 years.
Wow.
Like, okay, you're doing pretty good considering you're really only a 5-year-old in this skill.
All right. So you and Eric get working together, and then COVID hits, obviously, and you have to figure out kind of what you're going to do during COVID. But then it feels like you came out of COVID and discovered wheel wad and went to the 23 games. So what was that process like for you and Eric, kind of realizing that there was a competitive arena for you guys in what you were doing?
He's always had my back. Anything I want to do, he'll help me figure out a way to get there. So it was just really working hard on how to train, because he's got a lot of training background, and he just thinks differently than a lot of people do. So, he knows those training cycles, and so it's mostly just him talking me off the ledge of more is not always better. Simmer down.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the biggest one, because I'm like, oh, I got to train harder, do more, get this skill. Like, you're just going to go to the games without some of these skills, and it is what it is. Like, pick the one you really want to focus on. That's the one we might be able to get, but you might just not have these for this comp. And I'm going into the games with the same. Like, I know I still don't have a functional rope climb. I've had some good quality injuries on my good arm. So it's not worth it to work on that skill right now.
Yeah.
If I wreck my good arm the rest of the way, I lose my career, right? And that's just not worth it.
Yeah, and I think that's so. Let's put a pin in that for a second, because I do want to come back to that. As you're training, that you have to watch out for that good arm. I kind of brought it up with Emily Avery, episode 2. That seems like it was forever ago, maybe episode 3. But that idea of like, what do you do when that bad or that good arm is acting up? So let's come back to that in a second. But let's talk about the 2023 Wheelwad Games, where you placed second on the podium. What are one or two memories that you have from that competition?
I think the biggest memories I had were the group of girls I stayed with. I actually stayed with the lower below knee girls, Beth Janet and Sarah Arango and Sarah Rudder.
Yeah.
We stayed together in a house, and because I went to the games alone, they were my biggest cheering crowd. And then Abby Wynne Jones she was in our division that year. She's now in a neuro division, which is probably way safer for her. But she's just hilarious. I absolutely love that girl. We just bonded really well, and she gave her everything, so that I'm like, I need you to play. I know I can get this event. I can take first in this one. But if you don't play second, I don't podium where I want to.
That's right.
That girl gave her everything on the bike so that she could play second.
It's always good to have a friend like that who's your ringer.
Oh my gosh. Right. It came down to Abby. I was either going to be second or third, depending on the rankings of that event. And it's like, Abby, take one for me, girl. I'll give you this event, but you got to give me this one.
That's funny.
He schooled me all day long in the strength. I think that year it was deadlifts. I didn't even come close. I was not playing the same game as any of the other girls, but Abby had that one. Yeah. Like, you have that. I'll give you that one. You give me the bike.
There you go. So you got second in 23, your first kind of full-scale CrossFit competition. I know you said you may have done a local one prior, but like the first adaptive comp. And I remember it was just such a kind of a different vibe with about 102 athletes or so, 12 workouts over 4 days, just an amazing volume to get to be tested on.
That was a lot. I've never had done anything like that before, but I think it was also just emotionally overwhelming, but a level of gratitude at the same time to be able to be with people who get it.
Yeah.
Realizing we're all playing the same game. It might look a little bit different, but we're all playing that same game. Everybody is in there, no matter what their level of function is, just working hard.
That's right.
Right. And to be able to see that on a different level, because I am the only adaptive in my gym. It kind of can feel like Lonely Island a little bit, but going to that Wheelwad game, like, oh, it's not Lonely Island. Even the people in the gym, everybody's got a story. So I think that was a big eye opener for me, that it is just a huge community. We're all in there working hard.
Yeah. Have you brought any of that energy back to your local affiliate? Like, I made my affiliate watch all the heats, and I was like, oh, this is my friend so-and-so, and this is so-and-so, and this is, so, and getting to educate them, right? Have you found that your community is catching that bug a little bit from you going out there and competing?
I think they are. And in fact, this year is not about me. This one is about all my kids I work with because I'm
Mm,
school-based occupational therapist and I work in programs for kiddos that are labeled developmental cognitive disabilities, which they have a harder go at life because people look at them and assume they can't.
mm-hmm.
So this games, the 25 games are going to be in honor of my kids. Like I absolutely can't stand it when a teacher or a para or an adult looks at this kiddo and immediately just decides what they can and cannot do
Mm.
because I've been there and I've played that game. Even my own family at times has decided for me what I can and cannot do.
Yeah, and I love how you tied it back into your day-to-day work with kids needing OT support, but also the kids who need that OT support and have other cognitive things going on as well. They're going to be told frequently throughout their life, you can't do this, or you shouldn't do this, or maybe not, because they
And
are represented at Wheelwad.
even if they don't have the cognitive disability, they have a physical disability.
Mm-hmm.
But because they're not managing their saliva, they look like they have a cognitive disability. Somebody has
Sure.
already decided. Or
Yeah.
because you can't speak, they've decided you're not smart.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do this. Like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Not okay. So this one is for the kids.
Yeah.
Trying to show anybody and everybody that'll see it that yeah, we're working on the same game. We're playing the
Mm.
same game. It just is a different path to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had us put a pin in the conversation about injury because I wanted to talk about the 23
Yeah.
games, and then you weren't able to do the 24 games because of an injury to your good arm. So what's that like
Yeah.
when you're training and your good arm, your left arm, feels like something isn't right?
It was devastating at first. And it was actually call my boss and like, well, I couldn't even call her. I texted my boss because I could use my fingers still. But do you want me to type reports and see kids eventually? Or do you want me to just take days off work because I hurt my good arm and I can't function? My boss is phenomenal. Thank goodness. So she's like, well, if you have typing to do and you can still type, do that. And you'll see the kids get your services when you can. Like, okay, fine. But training wise, it got pretty dark and a little lonely. But I think I do some of that myself. I am my own biggest critic.
Yeah.
And I'm really good at isolating myself when things don't feel like they're going my way. Training through that has been a really long process of learning to trust the process. It doesn't feel like you're making those steps forward, but you really are. It just is so slow. It's hard to see.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that isolating yourself when you feel like things aren't going as well as they should. I find myself doing that when my body hurts or when I don't feel well, because I feel like I have to solve those issues by myself, right? Like if everything's moving well, I'm like, oh yeah, everybody come in here and give me advice. But the minute that like something doesn't feel right, I just shut down because I don't know. It feels like I don't want to be a burden or I don't want to explain it. I don't know how to explain it. Tell me what your experience is.
Of that. It's a level of I don't want to be weak. I don't want to open a window for somebody else to decide what I can do.
Yeah.
But also I don't want to drag you down too. I don't want to be the one that's sad all the time. Like, so it's easier to just be by myself.
Yeah. And withdraw.
Yeah. And I'm huge. That's my coping strategy since forever. It's not great. I'm working on it, but yeah, that's been my go-to since I was little is just withdraw. Like, I don't want to be your burden.
Yeah. What's your mindset to counteract that?
I think having that one really close friend or coach and just let them in on what's going on has been huge. So Eric has become quite a close friend. He can read me before I even say a word out of the gym. He knows what my day has been like before I even walk in or as I'm walking in. He'll see my body language and my eyes and he knows what's going on. So having that person that kind of reads you more than you think you can be read
Mm-hmm.
has been huge. I get the regular pep talks. Working on my side of things is trying to just use positive language with myself. So I'm not allowed to say those nasty things in my head. And as soon as you catch that first one, like, you're not good enough. Okay, no, you can't do this skill yet,
Yeah.
but you can do this, this, and this. So find your 3 positives for the day, or for the moment. What went well right now? All of these other things might seem like they're going so wrong, but there's still something that's going well. What is it?
Yeah.
So working on that, that we're making progress slowly but surely, but
Yeah.
that one's been huge. Just find your positives. They're there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for being transparent about that, for kind of diving into that mindset stuff. I feel like that's a part of adaptive athletics that we don't talk about enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. That part has been, I think, the hardest. And like I said, I am my own worst critic, right? Like, other people, I wouldn't let other people talk to me the way I talk to myself.
Yeah.
Which isn't great. So would I still be friends with that person? That's how I have to judge those comments. Like, if you're not going to be friends with that person, then you probably shouldn't be doing that either.
That's right. That's right. That's a good heuristic for it, to tell yourself, yeah, I wouldn't do that. Say that to a friend. Why am I saying it to myself? Do you have time for a lightning round?
Yeah.
All right. So fill in the blank. Adaptation has taught me
Success.
I like that. You saw success in 23. You're going back to the games in 25. Maybe we'll see some success there. Love that for you. Yeah. What's your favorite way to spend a rest day?
Oh, either kayaking, which I haven't even been out this summer, or in my garden.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned you're getting a chicken coop.
I am. So we'll see how that goes. A little bit terrified and excited all at the same time.
Are you going to name the chickens?
Oh, yes. One of them will be Hey Hey.
Appropriate.
Props to Moana. Gotta love Moana. And my daughter wants to name one Felicia so she can say bye, Felicia.
Oh, there you go. Fun. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll have to come up with names for the rest of them. But
all right. Awesome. And maybe when she's like, eating a scrambled egg for breakfast, thanks, Felicia.
Right.
There you go.
But it's supposed to be her job to do chicken chores before she goes to school. So she's pretty excited to say bye, Felicia.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That'll be fun. Nice.
I'm not even sure she knows what movie that's from, but she's heard it a lot.
This is going to sound super silly. I actually don't know what movie that's from. I just know the cultural reference. What movie is it from?
Same. I have no idea.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Awesome. If anybody knows, comment on the post and let us know, because I don't know. Clueless? Maybe it's Clueless?
Maybe.
He's not that into you.
Honestly.
She's all that.
My attention span for movies is slim to none. Like, I'll watch a Disney movie and that's probably about it.
Yeah. Now I'm just naming random 90s, teen movies.
Those were good things.
Okay. Favorite Disney movie?
I think it's still got to be The Little Mermaid.
Okay. I can get down with that. That soundtrack is good. Those original, right? Could have been Broadway musical, kind of Disney movies are perfect.
They were fabulous.
All right. What's a goal outside of fitness that you're currently working towards?
God, I don't know.
Okay.
I think the biggest ones I'm still working on is be a good wife, be a good mom.
It's a good goal. So
yeah.
It takes a lot of work.
I think reference to games a little bit is just being a good role model for other people, that just because it looks different doesn't mean it's not the same or the same level of hard work. Be that inspiration for some of my kids or for some of the staff I work with.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest one.
Okay. What's your favorite snack when you're getting ready to compete?
Oh, I'm not great at eating when I go to compete. I like to not eat several hours before I do any movement. So, I hear you're supposed to eat, so I'll eat an apple or a banana, but I really don't like heartburn when I'm working out. So
fair.
Not great at eating.
Okay. Nice. All right. And then my favorite question of the lightning round, kind of my final question, is if you're in control of Spotify, what are we listening to?
Not a lot. If I walk into the gym and nobody else is in there, we're listening to nothing.
Nothing?
Um, yeah, because sometimes you just got to work through the demons that are in your head.
You're not
Otherwise,
lying.
it's completely and super random. There's no rhyme or reason to what's in my playlist.
Okay.
Some of it's 90s country, some of it is current hits that are on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
No rhyme or reason. Some of it is emotional, like, oh, I'm working through this today, so I'm listening to Jelly Roll. I think I mentioned that one earlier, is my favorite current artist.
Yeah.
So it just depends on the words in the song. There's no rhyme or reason.
Okay. I mean, I don't hate the idea of working out with no music and listening to the demons in your head. Partly because you also get to hear like the sound of the plates hitting the ground and, the vibes of the space a little bit more. There's something to be said for that.
Yeah, I think it's just working through mental toughness.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be stronger.
Yeah.
So work out when it's quiet and you can hear yourself breathe and it's horrible.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Be tough. Working on that. So that, and I hate choosing music. It's so hard.
Oh,
because you can't please everybody.
that's true.
And I really know next to nothing about music. Like I can tell you a lot about 90s country only because my sister and I used to have to share a bedroom and she freaking hated country music. So that's all I would play just to irritate her.
All right. I've got two final questions for you as we wrap up. The first,
all right, what's up?
If someone's listening to this podcast and they want to get into adaptive fitness, maybe adaptive CrossFit, what would you tell them to encourage them?
Ooh, just do it. I wish I would have started when I was younger. Also, it's way cheaper than therapy. Because, I was spending $1,500 to $2,000 a month in different types of therapies, mental health and physical health and chiropractor, and the CrossFit membership is way cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Do that, but don't hesitate to start. Somebody's got your back.
Yeah. If anybody's got your back, this community also has your back too. Like
for real. Yeah. I've not met anybody that wouldn't have my back.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, and then the final question: if you could go back and encourage a younger version of yourself, maybe that 17-year-old who really wanted to do her hair, or maybe the 30-year-old who was sitting in that parking lot wondering if they belonged, what would you tell them?
I would use a quote from my very wise coach and tell them that our physical differences don't matter. Well, we're all just warriors in the garden. And that it's going to be okay. You can do more than you think you can.
Yeah.
I think that, he's very smart. I wish I had half the knowledge my coach has. He's a cool guy.
That's a wonderful quote, Amy. And thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you, Matt. It's been good. Have a great day.
Thanks so much for joining us for this episode of the podcast. I love these stories that are full circle moments, right? Where Amy, at a young age, was impacted by an occupational therapist and grew up to become an occupational therapist herself. And she's now impacting the next generation. I'm going to keep this outro brief because actually at the end of this outro, you're going to hear some additional conversation that Amy and I had about how she coaches at her affiliate and what it's like to coach as an adaptive athlete. So keep listening. I'm Matt Hotho, and I'll see you guys next time. So Amy, I didn't know this about you until you told me, but you're a coach. Do you have your L1, L2? What's your coaching background like?
Yeah, I have my L1. I got that is 3 or 4 years ago now. I should probably check that soon.
It might be expiring.
It might be. I might have to do some continuing ed here.
I see an L2 in your future.
Possibly. We'll see. I might just keep it L1 and call it a day. It works for what I'm doing. I coach kids class at my gym, and then I do coach some adult classes as well.
How many hours a week do you coach?
That it depends on the week.
Okay.
I think coming up in September, it'll be 4 hours a week.
Yeah. That seems like the right dose for someone who's kind of part-time coaches to kind of be able to keep the skill set.
Because, I've already got my full-time job, so that one's supposed to be my fun job, and I just do it because I'm going to be there in the evening anyway. I like the next coach. He's my coach, so I fill in the class before him.
Nice. Nice. And so you coach kids. What's that like coaching kids?
Oh man. It's not a lot different than coaching the adults. They all kind of behave similar. It's herding squirrels most of the time. Coaching kids, though, has an extra little layer of challenge in that they all want to imitate exactly what I do.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem to matter how many times I tell them, you keep 2 hands on the bar. I'm going to switch to 1, but you do 2. They will all immediately switch to 1 hand on the bar. Like, oh, get back to 2 hands.
Yeah. Because like for us, we're so used to just the way our bodies move that sometimes, do you realize sometimes that you're only using 1 arm and then they're mimicking you and you're like, oh, wait a second, why is this communication breakdown happening?
Oh yeah, all the time. And that's part of my other job too, right? That I'm occupational therapist. So I'm working on getting kids to do things with both hands all the time. And they're like, but you only do it with 1 hand. Like, I get that. And when you're older and you have the shoulder structure to support doing it with 1 hand, I'll teach you. But for now, you got to do 2 hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sometimes that bargaining chip works.
Do you find that you have to demonstrate movements differently? Are there some movements that you have to describe just using verbal cues, obviously, because you can't use visual cues?
Yeah, I find that I will try to grab a video, especially if I've got people in my classes or kids that aren't catching what I'm trying to say. If I don't have another athlete that I can say, hey, I need you to watch this person. Don't watch me, watch this person. Then I'll have to pull a video for them or get really good at cueing verbally.
Yeah.
Because I just can't do that demonstration.
Right. For me, it's things like overhead squats or like handstand push-ups came up in the workout last 2 days ago, I think. And I start going to like kick up on the wall and someone's like, he's going to do it. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I would just collapse. I just kind of like push my hands up over my head. I go, okay, the goal on this workout or on this movement is to be pressing actively into the ground, break at the elbows, and then press back up with your head, kind of, finishing through the window in some ways, looking at the wall the entire time, right? That blend of like a verbal, but also trying to make it visual. Like even when I do an overhead squat, I can't reach full extension on my right arm. So I will just show like, this is the position that you want on your left arm. Do you find that you do things like that where you're like, okay, I can show as much as I can with my good side?
All the time. Yep. Yeah. I feel like I do that as much as possible so that hopefully they're getting that it's supposed to be symmetrical, but not everybody catches that.
Yeah.
Though.
Do you get feedback from people that they enjoy being coached by an adaptive athlete or any like feedback from them as to what that's like?
I generally get a lot of you're such an inspiration.
Okay.
Which I understand where they're coming from, but also at the same time, I'm like, stop watching me, which I guess maybe coaching, that was the wrong role, but if you don't like to be watched.
Right.
But I feel like there's change there that can be made and people that may have otherwise left the gym maybe stick around because they feel like if I'm doing it, they don't have a good reason not to.
100%. And you said something really interesting there when you said something to the effect of when they say, you're such an inspiration, I know what they mean, or something like that. And I think that you're right. We have to sometimes do the work of translating like what that person is really trying to say is, I'm going to try harder today because of what I'm seeing in front of me. And that's a good thing, right? That we want for our athletes. Even if sometimes that word inspiration can sometimes feel like, okay, can we find a different word? But sometimes for people, I think it's like, that's the word that pops into their head.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the easy one to grab.
Yeah. We know that adapting isn't scaling, right? When we do it, it's not scaling. But do you find that being an adaptive coach makes you better at scaling or modifying for injuries when athletes come in with those?
Absolutely, because chances are pretty solid I've tried most of these accommodations.
Yeah.
Especially with my particular injury, I didn't have a lot of core strength, so it's affected my back. And then I played hard as a kid, so I have some knee damage as well. And so I got the whole gamut in there of things that I've played with and tried. But also my other job, again, is that occupational therapist. So fairly natural at looking at the task at hand and break it down and what do we need to get out of it and
Yeah.
how can I still get that movement but not do this particular movement.
Mm-hmm.
So between my two roles together as the adaptive athlete and the OT, I think I'm pretty okay at accommodating everybody else's injuries. If they tell me, they gotta let me know. I can only read their faces so far, but
except for when they kind of like walk into class like going, ow, ow.
Right.
Then you're like, oh.
Oh, but I'm just sore from yesterday's workout. Like, no, you walked in that way last week too. You didn't think I noticed that?
Yeah, that's funny.